My name is Christine Guptill. I'm here today to talk to you about injury prevention, and the topic of this presentation is what musicians can do. You could subtext this as what music teachers can do, so take from this what you will. And I know there are some people today who have quite a bit of experience with this and quite a bit of knowledge, so I hope that there's some things for everyone to take away, so for people who have very little and for people who have some as well. And these PowerPoints will be available to you through MTNA's website. And as well, my contact information is towards, actually on the second last slide. So if there's any questions that you have in follow-up, you're more than welcome to contact me as well. So just a brief outline of what we will be covering today. We're going to talk about the state of prevention education, just a little tiny bit around the world, prevalence of injuries, risk factors for injuries. I'm going to give you a little example curriculum just so that you might have some thoughts about how you might integrate this into your teaching. A short discussion about musicians' mental health, some common injuries and treatment, and then just to wrap up talking about what might come next after a webinar like this and what we should be doing in the future. Lots of people coming from all over. Hello to everyone. So as I mentioned, my name is Christine Guptill. I am a professor of occupational therapy way up here in Western Canada in the beautiful city of Edmonton, Alberta. I just moved here in January from Southern Ontario, so I was a little bit closer to those of you in Detroit and Ohio previously, and now I'm actually really far from a US border, so that's kind of interesting for me. It's probably the furthest I've ever lived from a US border. You can see me on the right in this picture here playing guitar, but I actually play oboe primarily. It's my undergraduate degree in performance is in oboe. Like many people, I started lessons on piano when I was 5, and I play a variety of other instruments as well. Guitar is the one I just play for fun. And that's my sister-in-law on the left. So why do we even want to talk about musicians' injuries? Well, I think it's really important to look at this quote that's attributed to Prue. I actually have trouble finding a reference for it, but I like the flavor of it. So we taste fine music, but we don't know what it cost those who invented it. Real truism for me and probably for many of you as well. Interestingly, out there in the scientific world, we really have a lack of a coherent definition of what this might involve. So that actually ranges from everything from work-related disabilities right through to our musicians' injuries. So even in work disabilities, we actually have a lack of a coherent definition of what we might call something like repetitive strain disorder. Shows up sometimes as things like tendinitis, a variety of other different terms. And even though tendinitis sounds like a very specific medical diagnosis, and we could actually describe it medically, in terms of how it presents in the clinic, it really is pretty vague, honestly. So some terms that have been tossed around are things like playing-related musculoskeletal disorders. Playing-related health problems is a more current term, twist on the PRMD term, to try and capture the fact that we also have a big issue with mental health, and that mental health piece does play into the musculoskeletal as well.